I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we have a story about Darren Till gives us the name of who he thinks is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Darren Till has a high opinion of this two-division MMA champion. Let's see who he thinks. The conversation of MMA GOAT is as subjective as it gets, and Darren Till is providing his insight on that discussion. Although Darren Till is no longer with the UFC, Darren Till had spent a long time competing at the highest level of mixed martial arts. Not only was he a contender in the UFC middleweight division, but he even faced off for the UFC welterweight title in the promotion, ultimately falling short against Tyron Woodley. Okay, let's get this pop up out of here. Darren Till names his GOAT. With so much experience being around the upper echelon of the sports athletes, it is safe to say that Darren Till has a stronger understanding than most about what it takes to be a great MMA fighter. In fact, he believes that the discussion of the greatest MMA fighter of all time is already settled. Taking to Twitter, Darren Till made it clear that he felt like former multi-time light heavyweight and current UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones is the best fighter to ever compete in MMA. Not only that, but he feels like this is just a distinction that will be held by Jon Jones for a very long time to come, and he believes that Jon Jones will defeat Stipe Miocic in their upcoming fight at UFC 295. This is what Darren Till says. This is a quote. Jon Jones is the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Not athlete, fighter. Don't think anyone will surpass him in my opinion, Darren Till wrote. Just to add as well, I think he runs over Stipe Miocic, who, by the way, I am a big fan of, and also think he is the heavyweight GOAT, Stipe Miocic. Anyone wants to bet me, I'll be taking big bets on the he started his own casino. He's on Twitter saying anyone takes the bet. I'll take big bets on that one, yeah. While it may be I wouldn't say a bold claim to say Jon Jones will run through former two-time heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic. Darren Till is certainly not alone in his assessment of Johnny Bones Jones being the greatest of all time. That being said, this is a discussion that will likely never be obviously not going to be fully settled. Yeah, I kind of have to, I definitely totally agree with this argument. I do have to put it out there. I am a MMA casual, so I don't follow every single thing that happens in the sport. When I was growing up, there was always the idea that, maybe Fedor was one of the greatest fighters of all time. Anderson Silva was put up there as one of the greatest fighters of all time. GSP was put up there as one of the greatest fighters of all time. Recently, Mighty Mouse and Khabib Nurmagomedov have been put up there as, greatest fighters of all time. I've always said that my reason for why I feel like Jon Jones is the greatest fighter of all time is look at who Jon Jones has defeated, right? Jon Jones has defeated former champions. Jon Jones has defeated people who went on to become champions, and Jon Jones has defeated so many Hall of Fame MMA fighters in his life. Nothing against, like I said, I'm a casual, so I can't name every fighter that Demetrius Johnson fought, but I don't think at least when he was in the UFC, I don't remember him defeating fighters who went on to become champions. Khabib Nurmagomedov, kind of the same thing with him, right? Like his record it's cool. Maybe Justin Gaethje has had one of the most successful runs after that, but he didn't really defeat people who's going to be Hall of Famers, fighters who went on to become champions after they lost to Khabib. GSP, I kind of agree with GSP being up there as one of the greatest fighters of all time because of who he defeated. BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, he defeated Bisbee to become middleweight champion. GSP definitely has a pretty close unblemished record. But when it comes to Jon Jones, if you just look at just some of these names, right? Gustafsson. He went on. John Jones defeated Daniel Cormier. Cormier went on to win the championship in the light heavyweight division and in the heavyweight division, but he could never defeat John Jones. You know, you look at Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira went on to win the UFC light heavyweight championship after he lost to John Jones, right? Who else is on the list? And then there's also all-time legends that people are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Like I said, Gustafsson is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Chael Sonnen maybe in the Hall of Fame in the UFC. Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, Machida, Rampage Jackson, Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader went on to become a champion in Bellator, two-weight division champion, right? He heavyweight championship and a light heavyweight championship in Ryan Bader. You know, there's also fighters like Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera went on to become a heavyweight champion in one championship. So that's why I've always felt like the reason why I picked John Jones as the greatest fighter of all time. It's not because he was like basically undefeated, but because of the people he fought. He fought people who, when he fought them, they were Hall of Famers, right? And then after he fought them, they went on to have success and become champions. Glover, DC, Brandon Vera, Ryan Bates. You know, you can't name many fighters that, you know, when they fought this fighter, they lost to that fighter, but then they went on to defeat other fighters and become champions. You know, there's 4 fighters who literally lost to John Jones and still went on to become, is it 4? Maybe even, did I say Glover Teixeira? Did I count Glover Teixeira? There's Brandon Vera, Ryan Bader, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, right? At least those 4. Maybe some other fighters out there probably went on to become a champion, but at least, you know, like I said, I'm MMA casual, so I don't remember everything. But those 4 fighters, they fought John Jones, lost, but they went on. They continued their MMA career, and they became champions, right? Like that, you know what I'm saying? You can't say that about people that Habib defeated. You can't say that about people that Demetrius Johnson defeated. So that's why I've always said, in my MMA casual, you know, opinion, that John Jones is, you know, the greatest fighter of all time. But let me know your opinion of this story. I'm Jason. The world is yours. Today we had a story about former UFC middleweight fighter Darren Till names John Jones as the greatest MMA fighter of all time. Do you agree or disagree? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.